An unknown man faces off against a group of skilled ninjas, putting up a good fight, but eventually succumbing to one of them. The story then shifts to Joe Logan, who cherishes his family deeply. Despite his commitment to protect them, his wife, Sarah, becomes anxious upon learning about the brutal murder incidents. It also has become evident that there's a connection between the victim and Joe Logan. Sarah expresses concerns about someone named the Reaper and worries about their safety. However, Joe reassures her that they are secure and no one can find them. As time passes, the masked killers strike again, claiming 3 more lives, each death more gruesome than the previous ones. A tragic event unfolds one night as the same ninjas who previously targeted their victim infiltrate Joe's home with the intent of killing him. However, Joe proves to be a formidable opponent, effectively countering their initial attacks. Despite his efforts, Joe is eventually overpowered, resulting in temporary paralysis. Helpless, Joe witnesses one of the ninjas brutally stabbing his wife, Sarah, through her neck. The brutality extends to Joe's son, Ruin, who also falls victim to the attackers. Although Logan succumbs to the assault, he miraculously comes back to life and is currently recovering in a hospital. In this vulnerable state, Joe is approached by FBI agents Mike and Emma, who inquire if he has any knowledge of the individuals who invaded his home and murdered his family. Despite Joe's refusal to talk, Agent Mike remains convinced that Joe possesses knowledge about the culprits responsible for the massacre of his family. On the hospital roof, Joe faces another attack by the same ninjas, but this time he ruthlessly dispatches them with ease. His deadly moves reveal his past as a highly skilled and feared ninja. In the aftermath, Joe showcases his mastery by dismembering some attackers and mimicking the brutal methods used to kill Sarah. The encounter demonstrates that Joe was once a formidable ninja with a fearsome reputation. After the confrontation, only Joe and the mastermind behind his family's tragedy remain. In a brutal showdown, Joe manages to kill the executor, but not before questioning how the clan discovered his hiding place. In a surprising twist, Joe removes what seems to be a digital mask, unveiling his true face. As the episode concludes, Joe revisits his former residence, tearing down a wall to reveal a secret stash containing remnants of his past life, including his ninja blade and mask. Symbolizing a desire for a fresh start, Joe sets his old house ablaze, hinting at his intention to obliterate his enemies in a similar fashion. Following a terrorist incident, the ninja clan decides to reveal their existence to other countries. This clan strictly adheres to a code that dictates immediate execution for any traitors or defectors. It seems that Joe, also known as Higgins' family, was part of this clan and may have betrayed them. The scene changes where Higgin is currently receiving medical treatment from Kaguri, an old friend who is aware of Higgins' ninja background. Higgin asks Kaguri for enough treatment to enable him to interrogate the only surviving ninja in the next room. Once able to move, Higgin relentlessly questions the man for information. When the ninja refuses to cooperate, Higgin resorts to extreme measures, likening the interrogation to toasting a marshmallow. After the hospital massacre, Mike is removed from the case and warned that further investigation could lead to termination. Unfazed, Mike refuses to step back and, alongside his partner Emma, delves deeper into the mystery. They discover that Joe's family is non-existent and not documented in any public records, adding complexity and intrigue to the case. Meanwhile, Higgin tirelessly searches for any lead to locate his adversary, but his efforts prove futile. Left with no other options, Higgin decides to approach Detective Mike Morris for assistance. He contacts Mike, requesting a meeting to get answers to some pressing questions. Despite Emma's attempts to trace the location, Higgins skillfully evades the calls, indicating his experience in this cat-and-mouse game. Mike provides a location, and they arrange to meet once again. Higgins queries Mike about his knowledge regarding the ongoing series of murders in the city. Before Mike can take any action, a surprise attack by a ninja interrupts the scene. Mike attempts to apprehend the hostile ninja, but the latter skillfully deflects bullets and injures Mike in the process. A skirmish unfolds, and as anticipated, Higgin triumphs by eliminating the attacking ninja. In a surprising turn, Higgin discloses his true identity as Joe Logan and utilizes a device to project a digital visage. However, their conversation is abruptly halted as a hail of bullets and an RPG rain down on them. The surroundings are reduced to ruins, yet Mike emerges unscathed. Seizing the opportunity amid the chaos, Higgin takes advantage as he departs. A nobleman and his protector were gruesomely killed by what seemed like 12 demons. This gruesome act was orchestrated by a dwarf assassin dispatched to serve Master Yamaji. For his next mission, Yamaji proposes targeting Joe Logan, also known as Higgin. Yamaji discusses the outcasts, noting that the clan no longer recognizes them as ninjas and regards them as betrayers and foes upon defection. He emphasizes the urgency of eliminating each one before their hidden truths become public knowledge. The man in the sharp suit requests the assassin to take out Higgin, who is regarded as possibly the best ninja the clan has ever trained. The assassin is thrilled by the challenge, considering Higgin's reputation as a master of various combat styles and a successful completion of numerous assassination missions, making him a legendary figure among his peers. Master Yamaji reveals that they have previously killed Higgin, but to their surprise, he returned to life, indicating the potential use of an ancient technique. As the story unfolds, we encounter Zai, a notorious and corrupt ninja who takes pleasure in eliminating exiles and defectors. Zai had a previous confrontation with Higgin, resulting in a significant defeat for him. Meanwhile, Mike has a heart-to-heart conversation with his senior, who happens to be his former partner. The senior advises Mike against delving deeper into the matter, warning that it could jeopardize his job without any good reason. Despite learning that Mike and Joe had a meeting the previous night in a rundown restaurant, Mike remains undeterred. He subtly hints at AUZA, a major company, being somehow linked to the case. As soon as these words escape Mike's lips, his partner becomes distressed and abruptly leaves. Back at home, Mike informs Higgin that the blades used by the assassins are made from a special alloy, and AUZA holds the patent for the same alloy. Mike also discloses that AUZA has influence even within the FBI. Sharing a drink, Higgin and Mike decide to investigate the case together, enlisting Emma to assist them in their efforts. After extensive research, Emma informs them that AUZA has a pervasive presence across various sectors, including military and telecommunications. The company seems to exert influence everywhere, with rumors circulating that anyone perceived as a threat, even mildly inconvenient, mysteriously meets their end. The man witnessed at the film's outset is one such unfortunate individual. Yamaji pays a visit to the CEO of the company, warning against any unauthorized attacks on ninjas, whether excommunicated or active. Simultaneously, Higgin and his companions come under assault from a hooded ninja armed with rockets. Despite the overwhelming attack, the hooded ninja proves no match for Higgin's skills and is ultimately defeated. Following the confrontation, Higgin receives a call from an unidentified caller, and his expressions indicate that he recognizes the person on the other end of the line. Higgin gets a mysterious call from someone who warns him about the tough security in Oza City. The caller claims to be an exiled ninja like Higgin and offers to help him break in. He gives a meeting spot if Higgin is interested. FBI agent Mike, still grappling with the loss of his son, teams up with Emma and Higgin. They're under close watch and discuss their next moves. Emma finds a shady group online tracking Oz's actions. Rumors suggest they're creating powerful weapons to influence countries. Mike warns Emma about the dangers involved and suggests she take a step back, but she refuses. She insists on being involved, unwilling to let Higgin and Mike take all the glory and action. Meanwhile, the CEO of Oza is impressed that Higgin managed to defeat their prototype warrior, designed to handle a whole fleet alone. However, undeterred, the CEO plans to gather more data to ensure their prototype warriors can defeat Higgin in the future. Yamaji perceives Mike as just an ordinary human, not posing a threat to their plans. When the time comes, dealing with Mike will be a simple task. Additionally, there's a flashback to when Higgin, Zhai, and Mari completed their training and received a secret technique, sworn to never disclose it to anyone. Yamaji was also present during this ceremony. Higan reaches the meeting point and receives another call. The caller explains the intricacies of Oza City's security system, which is equipped with cameras, sensors, and armed drones, with trespassers facing immediate death. However, the caller provides Higan with a covert entry route. Furthermore, the caller offers to hack the internal security cameras and disable the electrical field once Higan reaches the designated location. Despite encountering numerous guards and gunfire, Higan successfully infiltrates the headquarters. However, as he approaches the electric field, he is unexpectedly pushed back, only to discover Zai standing on the other side. Higan discovers that Zai, the mysterious caller who offered help with infiltrating Zhao City, is on the other side of the protective field. Higan informs Zai about Mari's death and suspects Yamaji's involvement, but Zai remains silent and walks away. Yamaji's hired assassin suggests allowing Higan into the city to be dealt with by skilled ninjas. This plan excites the company's CEO, who sees it as an opportunity to gather valuable data on Higan, a highly trained ninja. Meanwhile, Mike is on the trail of Jason Cardenas, a former Oza employee with information about Oza's role in current events. Jason, who despises Oza, has been in hiding for years and plans to take down the company. He has set up a sophisticated server room to hack into Oza City. Mike assures Jason of his safety and convinces him to cooperate in exchange for help. Jason successfully hacks into Auza City's server and discovers a file containing social security numbers and prices, indicating the company's involvement in purchasing fake identities. However, their investigation is cut short when they are abruptly kicked out of the server, with Mike noticing Emma's name on the list before they're ejected. As they attempt to gather more information, the company dispatches forces to apprehend them. Mike and Jason narrowly escape, but they are pursued by mercenaries who open fire on their vehicle, leading to a chaotic traffic collision. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Higan confronts Yamaji's forces, including a horde of highly skilled ninjas. Despite Yamaji's efforts, Higan effortlessly defeats the ninjas. However, his victory is short-lived as he is ambushed by cybernetic assassins. Overpowered and drained of energy, Higan is on the brink of defeat. In a surprising turn of events, Zai intervenes and begins attacking the cybernetic assassins instead of finishing off Higan. Amidst the chaos, one of the assassins seizes the opportunity to capture Higan and escape. A recent news update announced an explosion in Auza City. Shortly after, an unknown person's voice hijacked the radio, urging hidden ninjas in the crowd to track down and eliminate Higan, who has fled. Meanwhile, Higan regains consciousness in a laboratory and encounters Emma, who is wearing advanced armor. Emma discloses that she works for a group keen on uncovering the mysteries behind Higan's special powers, which enable him to revive after death. Emma, who was posing as an undercover FBI agent, not only provided Higan with intel for infiltrating Auza City, but also had her own hidden motives. Meanwhile, far from Higan, Mike awakens to find himself heavily bandaged, having been unconscious for 10 days. Jason informs him that he's now a target of Auza as well. Mike remains composed, mentioning that he's been on Auza's radar from the start. He proposes they waste no time and begin hunting down the individuals listed in the data they acquired from Auza's servers. Emma embarks on creating a groundbreaking armor called Kamui to enhance Higan's agility, flexibility, and combat effectiveness. However, she requires a power reactor located within Auza headquarters to finalize it. Despite this obstacle, Emma finds a creative solution and completes the suit. Kamui stands out as an exceptionally advanced suit, operating differently from others. However, to utilize it, Higan must synchronize it with his nervous system. During this process, it's revealed that Emma was the one who saved Higan on the tragic day his family was killed. Disguised as a clan assassin, she injected Higan with needles that induced a state of suspended animation by freezing his cells. Unfortunately, this method could only be performed once. As tension mounts, Auza's assassins locate Emma, who has been hiding in a mobile truck. A fierce battle ensues, with Emma fiercely defending Higan. However, the armored assassin proves to be stronger and more agile. Despite her valiant efforts, Emma is eventually overwhelmed. In her last moments, she reaches out to Higgins' subconscious, revealing why she saved his life. Emma explains that Mari once saved her life, and they had stayed in touch ever since. On that tragic night, Mari sought Emma's help, but by the time Emma arrived, Mari and her son were already dead. Higgin was the only one she could save, so she did. Emma apologizes to Higgin for not being able to save his family and bids him farewell. Just as the armored assassin is about to strike a fatal blow, Higgin fully synchronizes with his Kamui suit, ready to unleash havoc. Using the Kamui suit, Higgin defeats Lil and sends his severed head back to AUZA headquarters. Yamaji consequently decides to speed up his plans and gives Zai permission to go after Higgin. Back inside her truck, Asuka explains to Higgin how during her childhood, her face was severely disfigured in an accident and she was abandoned by her parents. She was eventually adopted by the former clan chieftain to become a ninja, becoming a master of disguise and watcher of sorts for him. Asuka and Mari developed a close personal bond with each other against ninja conventions. As the former chieftain succumbed to illness, Yamaji became leader and took the clan away from Japan, in turn alienating many members. Meanwhile, Mari had secretly developed a face-changing device, which she shared with the dissidents. When Mari became pregnant with Higgins' child, they were forced to flee and go into hiding. Asuka tells Higgin that she decided to stay in order to uncover what future Yamaji was planning for the clan. Yamaji and the organization leave the city to hasten their plans. Asuka tells Higgin that AUZA's endgame is to seize all energy infrastructure and assume control of each country from within, all the while using the clan as their muscle. Higgin and Asuka launch an electromagnetic pulse to disable the entire electrical network of AUZA City and escape the barrier. The two of them head to an AUZA power plant to steal portal energy tanks for their suits, with foresight that a lieutenant might be present. Asuka enters the plant and is confronted by Big D in his Gasoka gear. Higgin arrives in the Kamui and the two brawl, while Asuka disables the plant's charger by blowing it up. Higgin saves Asuka as the floor collapses and Big D allows them to leave due to his personal honor code. Back on the road, they discover Asuka's computer is being used and suspect it's Mike. They track him and Jason down to a motel, and Asuka confesses her true identity to Mike, much to his frustration for her not allowing him to help knowing the truth. Now on the same page, the group turn their attention towards the organization. Joseph scolds Yamaji for not keeping Big D in check, but is reminded that the partnership can turn at any one of his missteps. Meanwhile, Emma and Jason plan to directly hack AUZA's internal networks to retrieve dirt on the company. Thanks to a tracking device placed by Big D from the previous battle, they are found by the organization and a battle ensues. Asuka and Mike eliminate AUZA gunmen, while Higgin battles Big D and Jason continues to hack the company's servers. Mike is shot, but is saved by his protective vest as he and Asuka finish killing off the remaining gunmen. Higgin defeats Big D, who praises Higgin and asks Asuka why she betrayed them. She admits she was never on their side to begin with. Satisfied with her answer, he accepts his fate. Before Higgin is able to finish the job, Joseph remote detonates Big D's Gasoka gear. He is obliterated, but saves Higgin with the last piece of gear. Asuka receives fatal damage from the blast and gives her final words to Higgin and Mike before dying. The men say their final goodbyes before burning her body, with Higgin feeling even more determined to take down the entire organization. Meanwhile, Zai's very own Gasoka gear finishes production. Zai's orphan childhood and how he ended up joining the clan is revealed. In the present, Higgin and company bury Emma's body in the desert. The group holds top-secret AUZA data that is unfortunately now encrypted in Emma's computer, leaving Jason to have to decode it all by himself. To make matters worse, they have been publicly disclosed to the media as ecological terrorists targeting AUZA power plants. A message crow arrives for Higgin with a duel challenge from Zai. In flashbacks, it's revealed how Higgin, Mari, and Zai rose to the top within the clan and became an elite ninja trio. After Higgin and Mari depart the clan and become exiles, Zai felt they betrayed their bond and warned that they would regret it if they didn't kill him. Back in the present, Higan arrives at the duel location to battle Zai, and the two begin their deathmatch in their Gasoka gear, while Mike unsuccessfully confronts his boss about the AUZA-tied corruption within the FBI. Higan and Zai destroy their Gasoka gear while fighting and start battling man-to-man, exchanging blows and using their secret arts. Zai is infuriated that Higan and Mari not only broke the clan's code, but betrayed the pact they made together, as he truly believed he had made friends for the first time in his life. Higan defeats Zai and tells him that they left because the code held them back from loving the ones they hold dear, and was told by Mari that their son Rin could show Zai the future beyond being a ninja. Elsewhere, Mike returns to find Jason still hasn't regained access to the data, needing some form of biometrics from Asuka to access it. Mike remembers a keepsake from his deceased daughter that Asuka touched, and Jason uses it to retrieve the data, as Mike buys him time by diverting all police attention towards himself. Jason goes into hiding to access the data. Meanwhile, Joseph has a falling out with Yamaji and the clan as he discovers they're conspiring to betray AUZA and unsuccessfully attempts to kill him with armed soldiers. Yamaji and his men arrive at AUZA headquarters to assassinate Joseph. Dilly arrives and helps Joseph escape the facility before confronting Yamaji. A suited-up Dilly combats Yamaji, who reveals the perfected version of the Gasoka gear. Dilly is flung from the tower and killed by Yamaji. Meanwhile, Kagari meets up with Higan and unveils his true identity as the former clan chieftain. He tells Higan that he had been watching him, Mari, and Zai, sensing a wavering of the clan's code through them. He knew that the organization would eventually meet its end if he didn't make changes. However, the code's binding ran so deep that he was unable to find a new purpose for the clan. Yamaji decided to take matters into his own hands and assassinated the chieftain, but he survived and lost his ninja abilities as a result. Higan explains to him that he isn't exacting retribution for the clan, but for the sake of his family and friends that he shares bonds with. Being held for questioning at the FBI, Mike holds his employers responsible by having Jason leak the sensitive AUZA data out to the public, withholding the names of those tied to the FBI and U.S. government as leverage to make them take direct action on Joseph. The FBI sends out an arrest warrant for him, but soon thereafter automated versions of the Gasoka gear, under the control of Yamaji, intrude on public officials' locations and hold them hostage. Higan heads back to AUZA City to confront Yamaji. As Yamaji holds the nation's leaders hostage, Higan arrives in the city. Meanwhile, with the assistance of the FBI and Jason, Mike speeds after Joseph in the remote canyon fields, who's planning to escape the country via cargo plane. After disabling the plane with his own car, Mike chases after Joseph on foot and successfully captures him after a brief scuffle. Higan confronts Yamaji and a fight in their Gasoka gear ensues. Zai arrives mid-brawl and assists Yamaji, declaring his allegiance to the ninja life. Higan uses his secret art, but is countered by Yamaji's own art, which is able to mess with his mind. Yamaji attempts to kill Higan while he's hallucinating, but Zai suddenly turns on him. An angered Yamaji brings the fight underground to use the city's energy core for his suit, battering Higan until he is no longer able to move. Higan is about to give up when he has a vision of Mari, who reminds him that he still has the power to do anything he puts his mind to. Higan gets up and uses Zai's secret art to defeat the chieftain.